Ladies and gentlemen, there are some in the media that's finally getting around to seeing all of the racism from bad salami here, you know? And it's now being questioned, but it should have been questioned from the beginning when he said the first thing. Even going back to Don Lemon when he was on CNN, which led to him getting fired. But, ladies and gentlemen, how do you not notice it? Not unless you're just like him. That's why you blatantly don't notice it. So, bad salami sparks furor with comments on race. So, they said he has sparked a firestorm of criticism since launching his 2024 presidential campaign. So, they said the racially charged comments that he's constantly making. And I said, and he's very sneaky and calculated, y'all. Usually when he is on a roll, he makes sure none of us are in that crowd. And that's the only reason why he has gotten away with it as long as he did. And y'all notice, where are the good white people? The ones that say always constantly in our faces telling us we're not like that. There are good white people, but there never seems to be any around when bad salami is running his mouth against our community. It never seems to be them good folks around. You notice that too? All right. So recently, he faced backlash for comparing Ayanna Presley to the Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan. Y'all remember that? And he said that the U.S. educational system is modern ghetto system. It's a modern ghetto system. Well, even if it is, I don't know why you're trying to throw us in the mix. We didn't come up with this laughable system they got in place. This system sucks. And this was the best these folks could do, you know? So, so he doesn't realize he's really criticizing the people that put this crap together. So anyway, the government pays women in inner cities to be single mothers. I mean, these are all the things he said. And you mean to tell me the media is just noticing now? Man, y'all are slow. And he has argued with former CNN anchor Don Lemon on what it was like to live as a Black person in America, which he has no experience in. In fact, he has zero experience on anything that we have gone through historically, but he feels he's the one to be talking about such things. So I think there's a pattern here, but to be honest, I will go a step further and say that this is a cornerstone of his campaign, says Brandon Weatherby, presidential communications director for the American Bridge Pact. Just because you deliver it with a smile, just because it's a little more, you can kind of take in what he's saying. I don't care how he delivers it personally, with a smile, with a frown, it doesn't matter. It's still racist. It doesn't mean it's not going to have a lot of the same negative implications for folks, or literally feel like there's a target on your back when you go outside or when you go into certain communities, because that rhetoric has been normalized. Bad Salami, who is an Indian American, announced his campaign for the GOP presidential nomination in February, quoting Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in his announcement video, but much of the rhetoric has echoed that of a former President Donald Trump. Though Trump remains the front runner of the GOP nomination, Bad Salami has been raising, you know, a lot of questions about his rhetoric. All right. And yeah, they're talking about how he has jumped in the polls, and he did. But y'all, front runners mean absolutely nothing this early on in the game. We'll see where he is closer to November of 2024. Right now in 2023, and you're nowhere near election time, front runners mean nothing. Those front runners that peak at this time never win. Never. So, ladies and gentlemen, they said he's posing a real threat to Ron DeSantis, who really is very much like Bad Salami in the whole grand scheme of things, who has consistently polled in second place. Earlier in August, Bad Salami promised that he secured the GOP nomination. He would bring along voters of diverse shades of melanin in droves to win the general election. And we know that ain't hardly going to happen, not unless he means his people. He could mean his people. But his rhetoric on race only continues to draw criticism, with experts saying his comments do not speak to Black voters at all. Well, I don't think he wants us as his voters. I don't think that's the goal. It's really everybody but us. That's what he's looking for. So, a spokesperson for Bad Salami's campaign told The Hill that people are welcome to disagree with his statements, but he will always say what he believes. Right. So, he believes the racism that he speaks. There you go. So, Vivek says what most people are feeling. That is true. In the climate of America, that's true. He doesn't even really speak in partisan terms. Most of the things he's talking about are not Republican or Democrat, it's American issues. Many have argued that American politics has seen an increase in racialized political rhetoric since the 2016 election. No, America and its politics have been racialized from day one. Okay, let's stop trying to act like this didn't start until 2016. That is so dishonest. It's not even funny. It's no wonder why you're never willing to deal with these situations, because you're not even truthful about it. It's been racialized from day one. So, for instance, Bad Salami's comments on single mothers is reminiscent of Ronald Reagan's speech that introduced the term welfare queen. Well, Brett Favre is a welfare queen. Okay. And we already know most people on welfare in this country are white. So the welfare queens would be in your community. So the difference between Ronald Reagan, what he said in the 1980s in his speech, it was coded welfare queen, didn't say black, but it certainly implied it though, because they ran with we were on welfare more than anyone else. And see, this is why they want to go by percentages and not raw numbers. Because if you go by raw numbers, they're going to be the most, them folks are going to be the most of everything. They are. They're going to be the most of everything. That's why they love going by percentages. You should never go by the percentage. You should go by the raw numbers, because you're going to see them on the high end of everything that they try to accuse us of. But some of y'all are into percentages. I saw that from my live stream. Some of y'all are heavily into percentages and you're not doing nothing but helping them folks out. So, anyway, let's get back to this. So, uh, the chance that Bad Salami is doing what he's doing, being explicitly racist as opposed to using coded language. A person of color, Bad Salami, had determined ahead of time to address race in his campaign. Yeah, but the only problem is when he addressed race, he's only addressing one group of people. That's all he's doing. We haven't seen him address it all the way across the board. We just seen him on a constant attack of one group of people. All right. So it's not coded language, it's blatant racism. And he's putting it out there for the world to see. That's all. But see, ultimately, because he is a melanated man, ultimately it's going to implode on him. It really is. It's going to implode on him. Look at what happened to the Proud Boy, the melanated Proud Boy. Y'all know who I'm talking about. Okay, y'all know who I'm talking. Look at how things ended for him. 22 years behind bars, and he got the biggest sentence out of everybody. Oh well. So, ladies and gentlemen, some in the mainstream news are starting to take notice of what Bad Salami is out here doing all over the place. And, he's just running on that uh, boogeyman campaign because that's all he got going. He's got a boogeyman campaign going, and he is running nationwide with it. And we'll see how far he goes, but trust me, y'all, his ending is coming. It is coming. And it's going to be a hard ending for Bad Salami. You can best believe it. And you got some in the Congressional Black Caucus calling him out, but what does it all mean? Y'all don't really open your mouth when you really should, and just coming out because your fellow CBC is taking hits from Bad Salami when we got a whole community out here that you're supposed to represent and you're not representing. ah, it means nothing. It means nothing to us. But y'all, please tell me what you think about this video. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell, and I'll see you on the next video. Peace, family.